What's up, everybody? Late night Keefy here, coming at you live from a hotel room in Southern California. I'll talk about why in a second. Super sorry I haven't been able to do a live stream in a while. Um, just life getting in the way. I've been super burned out for those of you watching at home, and it's been tough. It's been tough to start the year kind of fried. I ended the year kind of fried. Overall, it was a good year, and I'll talk about some of that another time. But what I am here to talk about tonight, as we do live streams and we're bringing them back again, look at this tiny microphone I have. This little microphone is the shit. Look at this. We are going to review the brand new Megadeth album, the self-titled Farewell final album from Megadeth. A lot of thoughts. We were lucky enough to get the album early. We have a review up on our site right now at GhostCultMag.com. It's one of the pinned posts. And I'm here to do a companion live stream review of the new Megadeth. Malefist is here. Mike is here. Good to see you. Anybody that feels like tuning in here late at night, I appreciate you. I traveled all day to be here, which is wild. And I'm hoping the internet holds up here because I'm not sure it will, but it seems like it is. So yeah, thanks for being here. And yeah, we're going to talk about the album. If you watch this on a replay or you're curious about the album before you buy it, here's your unbiased, unvarnished review. Yes, we did get the album early to listen to. I'm a huge Megadeth fan. I think that's obvious from my history in music. I've been following the band since I'm a teenager. Thank you. I like my Aussie shirt too. I traveled all day and I sweated through my long sleeve that I took off, and it's hanging up to dry right now. I pack very light. I'm normally a crazy overpacker. Muck is Doom is here. Thank you, Shresky, for your comment about my shirt. The best experience for this is always YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Instagram. However, I love hanging out on TikTok with y'all. And anybody who follows us, I will follow you back. We do have a tip menu that we like to share. But again, it's not mandatory. I have been traveling all day. I'm super tired, but I work really hard to get this out. I listened to the record 5 times since in the last 24 hours, and I took notes, and I have many thoughts about this new Megadeth. Ward 16 is here. What's up? Good to see you. It's a band we've covered a lot in the UK. But if you're around, hang out. If not, and you watch this on the replay or listen to this wherever you check out live streams, that's cool too, because we like it. We appreciate it if you do. And again, if you follow us, we will follow you back. Just making sure that I'm on all the things here. Let's see. Go, man. There we go. All right. I'll start in a second. I have a whole deck prepared. I did a deep dive, even though I know the band intimately well. 1 ounce of weed is here. Welcome back, friend. Haven't seen you in a while. So Flower is also here. Again, if anybody pops up, I will engage. So I prepared a little deck. Let's see if it works. There it is. Okay. I didn't really have time to even set up this room, so I just kind of threw my camera. I have a brand new mobile pod, like a little desktop tripod for travel. It's lightweight. My main tripod is home, and I have some lighting here. But I think tomorrow, if I do, I'm unsure yet. I usually do my Thursday show. I'll talk about that in a second. I think I'll set this room up a little differently. But I literally just got off the plane. Took a bus to Union Station, LA, and took the train, the Amtrak down here to Anaheim. And I am hanging out. If you're down here, or if you're in the LA area, or you're in Anaheim for NAMM or Metal Allegiance tonight, technically, Thursday night, look me up. Speaking of Metal Allegiance, we did a whole bunch of content and great interviews. I was super humbled to be able to interview William Duvall of Alice in Chains, who sings on the new Metal Allegiance song. He will be at the concert tonight. I also interviewed Alex Skolnick once again. Our very first podcast interview ever was Alex Skolnick. Our 900th podcast episode was William Duvall. Skull is 903. Pretty amazing. So yeah, I'm getting texts from people and and messages, which is hilarious. But yes, I'm here until Friday afternoon. So if you want to hang out, LA area people, get at me. I might do some record shopping. And so I am here for the Metal Allegiance show. And funny enough, and I will be at the show. I'm super stoked. I might be doing some other stuff tomorrow. So normally Thursday is my regular live stream show. And I might push it to Friday morning, depending on how busy I get in the afternoon. But it's also possible that I will have nothing going on tomorrow afternoon except food, and I will do my regular show. So stay tuned to your socials. Stay tuned to my socials at GhostCultKeefy, at GhostCultMag, and I will update everybody when I'm going to go. Normally, we go live every Thursday without fail. Also, my other podcast has a new series we started on Dio. Got a really great response to the first episode. The second episode is killer. We did Holy Diver and now Last in Line. Check that out at Glacially Musical Podcast. So yeah, here's a picture of me with Snoopy. So I'm down here for the concert, not doing NAMM, but I hope to do NAMM in the future. And you know, I just like to think like wherever we've gotten to in 13 years as Ghost Cult, it's because of hard work. And I can't do this alone. There's actually a lot of people that do this. I'm not just a solo YouTuber. I didn't come along when YouTube came along. I played music for 20 years. I've been in bands. My first show ever, we covered Megadeth, Pantera, Metallica, Suicidal Tendencies, other things, Biohazard. So I've been around a long time. I've been a journalist for almost 20 years. I've interviewed thousands of bands, many of them multiple times. Megadeth is one of those bands that's really important to me. I've seen them the most. Almost, not the most, Metallica I've seen the most, but Megadeth is surely in the top 10. Just a couple of last little bits of news and minutia. If you're watching this tonight and you're interested, we have 2 giveaways going on. If you're in the southeastern USA, we are giving away tickets to the Swamp Survivors tour with Atoll and some grindcore, death metal grindcore stuff. And you might dig it. You just might dig it. So thanks for being here, all y'all. It's nice to see people pop up and like the stream. Feel free to like and share. That helps us. We also have a tip menu. Also, we have 7 more days, 1 more week on that tour giveaway for a pair of tickets to the Swamp Survivors Tour, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. But also, we are giving away a bunch of books, and we have this is worldwide. This giveaway for the books. Ozzy's 2 books on Slayer and some other books about metal productivity and managing your money from metalhead's point of view. We have a whole bunch of books we collected over the last year, and I love supporting my friends who are authors. Joe Whitfield is here on Facebook. Thanks, brother. Appreciate you. We got some people on Twitch. We got some people all over the place, and I'm grateful. So, the book giveaway is free. You don't have to buy anything. We just to enter to win, you just sign up for our newsletter, and you're entered to win. The pinned post on our website has all the details. So, also, there's a tip menu. If you're feeling tipsy, we do not have corporate sponsorship. We do sell some advertising. We have ads on our website. Yes, we do some sponsors and things. We have more giveaways. I just got pinged today for a huge killer giveaway from an 80s band that I think you'll all be pleasantly surprised at. We do a lot more than just metal here at Ghost Cult, but metal and rock is where we live. It's what we do. It's what we have done the most of. It's what we're best known for. But we have a lot of fun stuff coming up this year in 26. Hard to believe it's 2026, but I started out, like I said, I've used live streaming a lot in October, November, and December. I slowed down a lot due to some personal stuff, but I'm going to ramp it back up before this month is out. So yeah, if you're feeling tipsy, feel free to tip us. But with that out of the way, let's talk about Megadeth, man. Megadeth has been kind of brewing this album for a long time. We knew they were in the studio last summer. There was a lot of talk about them not being it back to the beginning. And then 5 months ago exactly, they started doing this end is near countdown clock on their website. And, I know that bands don't stay retired, and a lot of bands hung it up. I never thought that Black Sabbath and Ozzy would play one final show. Sad that was his final show. I happen to be wearing my old school Ozzy shirt with the bat on it. As I drink a LaCroix, not my favorite seltzer, but it'll get the job done for tonight. So, the end is near. People were speculating Marty was coming back. They're going to do like another Rust in Peace tour. And basically, in time for the 40th anniversary of the first Megadeth release, they announced this farewell tour, this farewell album and album and tour. So they were in the studio working on this. That's probably why they were not at back to the beginning. They were in the studio and they had committed to that time frame. We're not going to get a lot of these. We're not going to get a lot of people die and pass away, and we've been suffering through that. And a lot of bands are forced to hang it up, but we found out recently that Dave has medical issues. That is the reason he really needs to pack it in, and how that condition worsens or is managed is going to tell a great deal about how long this farewell tour can be. He says 3 to 5 years, but I'm not 100% sure he can even play 3 to 5 years. I'm not sure he can hold up based on this condition he has. We'll talk about in a minute. But I think it's also time. Cancer scare. I mean, I saw Megadeth 15 years ago. This September, at the Big Four at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York, where I'm from. Megadeth, Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax. It was one of the greatest nights of my life. It was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. And Dave had just had neck surgery right before this, and he was in obvious pain, but he gutted it out through this 45-minute, hour-long performance that was incredible. You just have to give him a tremendous amount of props for his, tenacity that he has always had. Thanks for being here, Pastel Flower and Under the Fifth. We appreciate you. Feel free to like us, like the live, follow us, all that jazz. Stuff helps. Money helps more. We like tips, but it's all good. If you're on YouTube, you can especially if you're on Ghost Cult Mag, you can buy us a super like or a super thanks. You can buy us a coffee on Ko-fi. But Megadeth, man, this is one of the most important bands of my entire life. I am not one of those Metallica fans that hated Megadeth. I love Megadeth. And needless to say, metal would be very different if Dave Mustaine did not exist. Very few people have had an impact on 3 major bands of a subgenre of rock and heavy metal. Co-founded Metallica, maybe not co-founded Metallica, but he was super important to the early work of Metallica and even the later work of Metallica, as we're going to talk about. Kerry King spent some time with Megadeth that absolutely helped shape his approach in Slayer a bit. And of course, Megadeth. So we'll do Megadeth by the numbers in a second, but I did want to take a second to talk about this, and I'm probably going to mispronounce this, but the cancer and just the grind of the music business and his own personal, very public struggles about his time getting kicked out of Metallica. He's got this Dupuytren's contracture, which is an arthritic condition that makes your hands, gives nerve damage to your hands and actually constricts your hands over time, and also back and neck problems. So, I mean, the fact that we even got this record is almost a minor miracle. Not unlike how Ozzy, had to gut it out to do those final albums. Whatever you think about them, I'm fond of them, but nobody thinks these are the best, even though they won Grammys and he got his flowers, which was super nice. Are they the best records of Ozzy's career? No, but it was nice to get him back for a couple of things and have him be creative. And we saw how much that did for him. We'll talk more about that in the coming weeks. But Megadeth, man, like, unfuckwithable. I know certain people don't like Megadeth. Again, some Metallica fans don't like Megadeth. A lot of Metallica fans love Megadeth. Lars used to be like, I love Megadeth. My kids love Megadeth. I asked my kids to put on a Metallica record, and they brought P-Cells to me. Lars told that story. We did get the big four. There is some, obviously a lot of bitterness from Dave, but also like, even more recently, there was like maybe Dave and James were making an album together, texting each other, and some shit happened over a record store day release that didn't end up coming out, which is a bummer, absolute bummer. And again, I appreciate the handful of people that are watching. I don't normally go on this late, but I just felt like this is my opportunity to get this thing done. I have a lot of busy kind of next day and a half down here in Southern California for Metal Allegiance tomorrow night. But if you see me and you've never met me, come up to me, give me a crisp high five and all that jazz. So let's do some Megadeth by the numbers. I worked on this for a bit, so I'm proud of this. Megadeth's founded in '83. At this point, the story of Dave Mustaine getting kicked out of Metallica, when is my plane leave, you're getting on a bus, is like watching the Batman origin story of Batman's, Bruce Wayne's parents getting killed. Tom and Martha Wayne. Why did you call Martha? Why did you say Martha? Watching like Batman's parents get killed. It's the same thing about hearing this Mustaine story. Again, I'm not trying to, there's no taking Dave away from Metallica history. There's no taking Dave away from thrash metal history. He is one of the all-time greats. Megadeth has maybe 3 absolute perfect albums, in my opinion, and could have had a 4th. We can debate that at a future time. But Megadeth by the numbers, founded in '83. We know the story. And I believe the first song Dave wrote was actually Set the World Afire, which ends up coming out on their 3rd album. So far, so good. So what? 17 studio albums, 2 EPs, and 6 live albums in 43 years. 41 years as a recorded band. 50 million in sales so far. Nothing to sneeze at. Plus whatever Dave has earned from his contributions to Metallica. So, Dave is not broke. He's certainly done well for himself. Did he make Metallica money? No, but no one else did either. So, I feel his pain, and I understand about, what he considers an eternal slight and all that, but he really shouldn't feel ashamed of anything. He should be proud of everything he's done. They did finally win a Grammy in 2017 for Dystopia, which was an interesting album. It was the first album with Kiko Loureiro. It also featured Chris Adler on drums. He didn't really tour with them. After that, they got Dirk Verbeuren in. So Dystopia comes out in 2016. They won the Grammy in January of 2017. And again, man, Dave Mustaine has left an indelible mark on metal. It's not up for debate. It's not up for debate how much he has helped and influenced and inspired metal. Ronald Peruvian Percussion is also passed by on the gram. What's up, pal? So Big Papa's here. Love it when you call me Big Papa. So, along a certain timeline, there's a reason why Megadeth is in the Big Four. They're one of the biggest selling. I believe they have the 2nd most record sales of the thrash metal bands beside Metallica, followed by Slayer and Anthrax, although Anthrax had 2 platinum singles before they ever had a platinum record, which is also interesting. And they've been a leader of metal for many years, which I'm proud to be a fan and will stay a fan. I know that Dave has rankled some people with his personality and some of his deal, but I think that he is wonderful and marvelous, and again, can't really take anything away from the guy. So let's with a little bit of Megadeth history under our belts now, in case you were new and you don't know Megadeth's importance. They're hella important to the history of rock and metal, on the Mount Rushmore of metal. And not only are they the 2nd best-selling thrash band, they're one of the top 10 or 15 selling metal bands, period. Facts, no cap. So, man, even this album artwork, I'll talk for 1 second about this album artwork. I have one more thing to discuss before we go into the track by track. this very similar to uh, when Megadeth came back in, they did that album, you know, that back in the day, this like a very interesting white cover. Megadeth always used to wear the white shirts because Metallica wore black. And the Vic Rattlehead on Fire. There was a period of time where they went away from Vic Rattlehead, which is crazy. Um, the World Needs a Hero when they came back, and then Dave injured his arm, and then they came back with The System Has Failed, which was supposed to be a Dave solo album, which is always super interesting to me. That record needs kind of a re-examination. But just the iconography of Vic putting on a suit and tie with a a little coronation there on his lapel, on fire, calm and chill. It's like really a metaphor for Dave himself. So let's do a little bit of the track by track. So the album starts with Tipping Point, and I will say that the singles are very top heavy on the record. Alice in Chains 04 is here. Love of Yorkies is here. What's up, Alice in Chains? Before we're talking, I'm going to do a deep dive right now on the brand new Megadeth record that is coming out this Friday. We got to listen to it early. As music journalists, we have a written review on our website at GhostCultMag.com, and now I'm going to go track by track, and I have notes on all these, so I'm going to stay off camera except on TikTok for a minute, and then I'll come back at the end. But Tipping Point's a killer opening track. I know some people didn't love it. Super speed metal, one of the fastest Megadeth songs ever made. There's a tremendous neoclassical lead guitar in there by Timu Montessori and Dave. A lot of trading solos on this record, much more than even The Sick, the Dying, the Dead a few years ago. And Dave, one of his things that I really love that he always did is Dave does two things that they're not like the most, now because he's been copied and imitated so much, but like especially for heavy metal and thrash metal, Dave will play a different riff for the solo part, whether he's soloing or not. He'll just play an actual different solo. Somebody is shitting on me in the comments on TikTok. What a surprise. I'm here doing shit. You're home commenting on me doing shit. But what I love that Dave does is deconstructing riffs and playing different kinds of riffs. So there's a super great coda end of the song where they kind of break it down a little bit, like a little funky breakdown, not quite funky, but like a little more heavy metal paced thing, and then a fast, exclamation point at the end. I think Tipping Point's an excellent song. I know people didn't love it as the first single, but I think it's a grower. It's certainly a great album opener. It's like one of the, he wasn't kidding when he said some of this stuff is going to be the fastest stuff they've ever done. He was not lying. Second track is I Don't Care, and people didn't love the lyrics, but I'm going to tell you that what I really love. Oh, nice. Corpse Paint Records. What up, brother? Happy late night to you. I'm here in Southern California in a hotel room doing this live stream because I got the Megadeth 23.5 hours ago, and I've been listening to it nonstop while I traveled today. And I prepared this thing. I ordered the and always thank you, Andrew, man. I adore you. You're not supposed to have favorites in this business, but I'm me, and I'm going to do me. So I adore you, bro. Thank you. I was just thinking about my trip to Vegas, and when I bumped into you, was really amazing last year. I hope to have more of that experiences this year. Yeah, brother. So yeah, I got one version. I ordered the version with the bonus track, which I'll talk about at the end because I haven't heard that. They haven't sent that to us, but I don't care. People didn't like the lyrics. I like pissed off, angry Dave. Like I want angry Dave. So I like that he, certainly The Sick, the Dying, the Dead is, got some snarky Dave-isms, but I really like, okay, it's not Chaucer. We're not doing Shakespeare here. It's metal. It's heavy metal, and Dave is a huge punk fan and was a punk growing up. And I think I Don't Care is actually, musically probably a little bit better than the lyrics, but Dave loves his listicles. There's a few songs on here that are lists, and he loves his lists. So I think I Don't Care is very solid. Some people didn't care for it. No pun intended. Hey God is the next track. Very interesting. Kind of reminded me of Ashes in Your Mouth from Countdown to Extinction. Like Dave, obviously, just giving a lot of interviews, probably giving too much away by talking personally about his history with religion as a child. He was kind of abused religiously as a child with his home life situations, and although obviously he is very faithful, and I think Hey God is very similar vibes to Peace Sells. There's a tremendous amount of, as much as there's some fast, great technical thrash on here that Megadeth is known for, I like the mid-tempo songs on here even more. And I will also say that the songs that you haven't heard are actually the best songs on the album. I know we've heard about, almost 45% of the album now, but like actually the best songs were not singles in my opinion, but we'll talk. Hey God, good track. Let There Be Shred, another single, tremendous soloing, tremendous drums by Dirk Verburen, and good bass by Dave Lomenzo. Just very snotty and angry, and Dave kind of patting himself on the back, as I said at the top of this video and review, that Dave is taking a victory lap. He absolutely has nothing to be ashamed of. He's had a tremendous career, and Let There Be Shred is kind of like like I picked up a guitar the day I was born. Like obviously he did not, but like kind of amazing that he would put that into a song. Kind of reminded me the vibes of the Get Thrash documentary at the beginning when Dave is talking about his thumbprints, fingerprints all over thrash metal history. So a little bit more into the album. Puppet Parade, the recent single that came out this week, kind of stealth released the single the week of the album drop. And yes, my colleague at Ghost Cult, Morgan Y. Evans, they made a comment on social media about like, oh, it has puppets in it, right? Like the puppet metaphor has been done by Metallica. It's their most famous song, Master of Puppets. But actually, I think Puppet Parade really reminds me a lot of Hook and Mouth, Angry Again, and Architecture of Aggression. These really great mid-tempo, grindy, phenomenal riff. 90 songs. Really a lot of this record is a love letter to the best stuff you've ever heard from Megadeth, especially Rust in Peace, especially Countdown to Extinction, especially Euthanasia, with a little bit of cryptic writings, like a little bit of greatest hits kind of flavor, like all the things that Dave is known for, all the types of songs he's made. There's like a little bit of that in every song here. And Puppet Parade is a really good song. I actually really like this even more than the other singles in a lot of ways. Moving along to Another Bad Day, another List song, another, slice of life, Dave, complaining about life, but clever. There's cleverness to it. It's not just like I'm bitching and moaning. It's actually pretty interesting, and it's relatable. I think that's the reason why Dave is very endearing historically, is he's very relatable as a person, even if you don't always agree with him or you don't always like everything he says and does. Made to Kill, here's a series of songs. Dave, I think we saw it with the Tipping Point video and some other things in recent Megadeth history, that Dave is a big fan of the military and military allegories and allusions and references. So Made to Kill, seems like on one hand is a reference to him and his guitar music, his heavy metal, his thrash metal, but it's also, a soldier's mind. And I think it's actually a pretty interesting song, if I have to say so myself. I could see this being an additional single on the record. Obey the Call. There's a bunch of these very short titles, not very wordy as usual. No ellipses on this record, unlike Dave's, some of his more fanciful records like the last one. Obey the Call also could be considered religious, could be the call of metal, could be his higher calling as a guitar player and songwriter, and maybe even obey the call of what's to come next. I will have some final thoughts at the end of this that will help sum up the record a little bit. I Am War is another one, another military-minded song, but also Dave's personal war against the world kind of also reminds me a lot of the recent Cro-Mags EP with Harley, just kind of talking about personal battles comparatively to, war. I think this is a very solid tune. And both Made to Kill, Obey the Call, and I Am War, pretty mid-tempo with great drums. I can't say enough. Everyone knows we're huge Dirk Verbeuren fans. If you listen to our podcast, Dirk has been doing our intros. He gave us, a recording of him doing an intro for us. We have some new special ones coming up soon. I Am War also has a little bit of a riff that reminds me of Hangar 18, and also Obey the Call also kind of sounds like Hangar 18 a little bit, and also A Secret Place, which I know a lot of people love that song from Cryptic Writings. It's a fan favorite. They were playing it for years on tour, gotta be honest. So also, as we're getting toward the last end of the record, The Last Note really should have been the last song on the record, but it's not because of the Metallica cover we'll talk about at length in a second. It starts out kind of with that Cryptic Writings. Oh, the World Needs a Hero. What was that instrumental track? Silent Scorn, or When, like these like poetry, spoken word things. So kind of like When, in the same vibe as When. The Last Note is talking about the end of his career, and he does talk about fate. He does use the reference Fade to Black in that also. There's an incredible Spanish guitar solo, and also like trading solos. It's the second longest song on the record beside the cover. I really wish this had been the final song on the album, even with the cover. I get why to put the Ride the Lightning as the bonus track. And again, I got the vinyl version that has the other bonus track that it has not been sent out yet to press. But The Last Note is immense. I hope that it's played live at least once. And that brings us to Ride the Lightning, which closes the album. Much talked about cover of a song he co-wrote in Metallica. It's crazy that this is the last song ever. It's certainly interesting. I'm going to tell you that this cover is absolutely inspired and inspiring. So good. This cover is so good. It is Megadeth's, fully Megadeth, doing a Metallica song. Dave doing Dave. He is absolutely not doing a James imitation like I think people maybe, someone else would clearly pay tribute to James's version, but Dave did it Dave's way. There are lots of subtle bits that are truly Megadeth's version, similar to Mechanics. If you're a Megadeth diehard, you love Mechanics, you don't like Four Horsemen. Lyrics to Mechanics are terrible. Musical Mechanics might be a little rougher and harder, but just absolutely a banger. A great cover. I know a lot of people are going to go right to this song when they listen to the record because it is just phenomenal. It's a great cover, and I think just the notion. I still wish that like if this was their last record, that this a Metallica song would not be the final song. I understand the symmetry of it. So yeah, just phenomenal cover. Most of this record is excellent. I know people are looking to find fault. There's a lot of internet experts out there that actually don't know dick about music or don't know anything about critique or don't understand. Like this guy's 64. I like that he's pissed off and angry. The world is pissed off and angry right now. And I like that his state of mind is fire and fierceness. That makes me happy. We're not writing the great American novel here as a lyricist. No, and no one in metal really ever has been. Occasionally you get some brilliant lyrics. And as I mentioned, I have some summary thoughts, but I do want to call out our review on the site, GhostCultMag.com, and I love this last line by our writer Gary Alcock in the UK. He's one of the best writers we have, and he always has been. There's no point pretending that this will be ever be the best record in Dave's career. You simply can't argue with the likes of Rest in Peace, Peace Cells, and Countdown. I mentioned those, and everyone knows it. But as for their output over the last 25 years or so, this final marker absolutely stands as one of the best. So I have to concur and say that this is the best Megadeth record in this century. You may have your favorites. There's a couple that are clunkers. Um, for the most part, they have had a who's who of incredible talents come through the band. I think Dirk is the most like Dirk Verbeuren on drums is the most like Gar Samuelson and Nick Menza of any drummer that's ever played with the band, including Adler, who I love tremendously from his time in Lamb of God. And Lomenzo is a very solid to good bassist. He's a great singer. His tone is a little bright for me in general, but like I love Ellefson as a bassist of Megadeth, but that's just me. And Timu, man, I can't say enough about him. He came in from Winter Sun, had an unenviable task of replacing Kiko Loureiro. His stuff on here is fire, absolute fire that he was able to come in and do this work stand shoulder to shoulder with Dave. I know that Dave kind of keeps everybody on a leash, but it feels like he let everybody out of the gate a little bit. He let them free a little bit to just contribute a little bit more. And their level of musicianship is what you want from Megadeth. So we gave this record on Gary gave this record on our website review an 8, and I have to agree. I think if you're a Megadeth diehard, you love everything they did, even the bad things like Risk and Super Collider. But I think it's clear to say this is one of the best Megadeth records, certainly the best Megadeth record this century. It's they won a Grammy for Dystopia. This is a much better record to me than Dystopia on a few levels, but Dystopia is also excellent, and I love the Sick, the Dying, and the Dead. Very grateful to Black Records, who I started to talk about. I'll just close with saying that the Black to Black label launching with Biohazard and Megadeth, and now signing Forbidden, Nunslaughter and Cro-Mags, they are going to be a label to watch this year. They really went hard signing Megadeth. They had Frontiers SRL, the parent company of Black to Black, actually released the last Megadeth record. So this has been pretty major for the metal world. I'm sad that it's the last Megadeth record. I hope Dave can go out there and perform up to his own tough capabilities and his own tough criticism. It's an excellent Megadeth record. Surely going to be one of the thrash metal records of the year. We just came off a pretty big year for thrash, and we have new records to look forward to from a bunch of bands in the genre, new and old. But I'm really proud of Megadeth for this, and I really am appreciative of the opportunity to get this record early, spend a bunch of time with it, and jam out to it. So, hail Megadeth, and I'm just really thankful. There is a bonus version only at Target. I normally don't buy anything from Target because their vinyls tend to suck. So I hope I didn't make a mistake. If I did, I'll have to get another version, as Corpse Paint Records mentioned on TikTok earlier, Andrew. But this has another track, and the opportunity to get like one more track from this kind of sucked me in. So Bloodlust is a as yet unreleased track that is only going to be on this special Blood Red vinyl version. So I pre-ordered this, and I'll let you know how that is too. Maybe if it's good enough, I'll do a whole review on it. It's possible, but Megadeth, man, I'm gonna be sad to see them go. I don't know. Oh, lost one of my lights. I don't know that we're going to get like farewell albums from bands like this, that many. So I'm really thankful to have gotten this record. So that's my review. I give it an 8 out of 10. Our website review is also, spoiler alert, an 8 out of 10. Go check it out at the pin post at GhostCultMag.com. I am Keefy from GhostCultMag.com. I will hopefully be back tomorrow, later today at this point, as it is approaching 1 a.m. Pacific. At the worst, Friday morning, you will see my face from this hotel room, perhaps in a different angle or version, but configuration. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting us. I really appreciate it. Stay fucking metal. Hail Megadeth. I'll see you soon.